Hi, Marie. How are you?
Hi, Lucy. I'm doing really well.
I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Me too.
You've been on a massive, massive journey, my friend, since I first met you.
Yes, it's been absolutely massive, just incredibly life-changing.
Yeah,
Rocked my world.
what's that?
It's rocked my world.
Oh my goodness. Well, you've rocked a lot of worlds in Soul to Soul. I will tell you that. Yes. Yes, which you've seen in all your Soul Sisters comments. But before we even get into that, could you just introduce yourself? Let us know where you're from and all that good stuff.
Yeah, my name is Marie Pribola, and I am from Austin, Texas, and I'm 32, and I work as a quality manager for a chemical company.
Okay,
So that's a little about me.
beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'm going to torture you for just a quick second because I know you've just finished Soul to Soul and you are
Yeah.
riding and flying very high right now. But just for the sake of these divine soul sisters in here who are watching this, could you just take a moment to go back to that very first phone call that you and I had and where you were at, just how you're feeling in your life? What wasn't working? What was it like being Marie then?
I was really scared. I was really afraid all the time. I felt really stuck.
Yeah.
I felt trapped in my life. I felt like I had no power.
Yep.
And I felt invisible to people around me. I felt like the more I tried to be seen, the less I was seen and heard.
Mm. Yeah.
I felt like I was always reaching out, always trying to pull people or things in, but it was just eluding me. Yeah, I felt so deeply not enough. I actually had a lot of self-loathing that I came to discover later.
Yeah.
That I was holding on to big time.
Yeah. What was the worst part for you?
The worst part was feeling like I was being left behind by everybody. I saw my brother getting married, my younger brother. My younger sister got engaged and she was going to get married. All my friends around me were getting married, and it seemed like their lives were on track. They were going places. They were achieving what they wanted to do, and I felt so left behind.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, chills. Yeah. And what you're sharing right now is so pertinent to how many women feel in this group. You know, that how did I get here? This is not the way that I saw my life going. You know, I feel left behind as well. I know that feeling very distinctly. I was there as well before I, did the journey. And it feels like shit. It's like you're on this deserted island on your own.
Yes, that was exactly how it felt.
Yeah. And I remember what was different about you when you came to me was it somehow snuck under the radar on your first call, but I was like, are you in a relationship? And you're like, yeah, I have been for a year. And I was like, I don't work with women in relationships. and I remember that call that we had, and I went deep in about 5 minutes with you, and you were suddenly like kind of practically on your knees because a lot was hitting you, and then suddenly you were starting to get kind of very overwhelmed, and because you could feel the truth of it. But what I was so impressed with and so inspired with by you, Marie, was you had been in a relationship for over a year. And I said, listen, hon, if you want to come and do this work, it has to be about you. And if you come in, you're going to try and make this relationship the key piece and try and fix it, or, it's going to have the focus on him. So I said, you need to, if you're really serious, you need to wrap that or put it on hold and come and do Marie. And what I want you girls to know that are watching this is, I didn't know if I was going to see Marie again. Well, sure enough, she went away, she entered the relationship, she got back on my schedule, and the next day she was in Soul to Soul. That's huge. Very, very courageous. Because of course I'm not here to make anyone break up with anyone, but I just said, if you are ready to go on this journey, this is what it's going to take. Because without that level of emphasis being on Marie, can you see now how different it would have been?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I just want to acknowledge you, you know, right here, if you, any of you are in a relationship, or you're flinging or friends with benefits, and you know that you're just there because you don't want to be alone, take a leaf out of Marie's book, because you'll see what she comes to share now is I mean, she's in a completely different stratosphere. And and I'm excited to really hear today, you know, what you got on this journey, Marie. So let's just dive right in. I mean, how would you describe your experience over the last 8 weeks? Coming in, feeling so out of your self-expression, held back, stifled, overlooked, left behind, and then now, like, talk to us about what the journey was really like for you in the vortex.
Oh my gosh. Wow. My gosh. Reaching back to those first couple weeks, I didn't know what to expect at all, but I just knew that I was to do some work on myself, because I had been avoiding working on myself for so long, just really so shut down, so denying that I needed help.
Yes.
And I was finally in a place where I was ready to receive support and be vulnerable about that. And so the first few weeks, though I experienced a lot of resistance, I did experience a lot of like internal anger and like a lot of things rising up, feelings of like big time inadequacy, feeling like not wanting to look at those parts of myself that I'd buried deep down, the old sadness, guilt, pain, shame. It was all starting to come up, and I felt a lot of turmoil those first few weeks in Soul to Soul. And but
it's confronting, right?
It's very confronting. Yes, very much so. Yes, but I was also ready. I was also ready to like clear away all the shit and crap that I had been holding on to, and that was keeping me trapped in that old life.
Yep.
And all the old coping mechanisms, all the feeling so shut down, not knowing how to speak, not knowing how to actually express how I was feeling.
This was really, really big part of your evolution, Marie. So many women can relate to this. Like Marie, when she came to me, was very apologetic, very sweet, and you know, I say this with love, very one-dimensional. And that's not who Marie is. I knew when I met her, I was like, oh my God, this girl's amazing. But you're living at such, you know, 12% of who you really were. And I was like, imagine when we fill in the rest. And imagine when she gets her truth and her voice and her power. And that's what you know, over the process, because nothing happens in like that. Over the process, you started to really get who you were. And so much shifted for you with regards to your self-expression and making yourself the priority, right? Share a bit about that with us on how things have actually shifted tangibly.
Really shifted very, very noticeably. I like how you said that about one-dimensional, because I was very one-dimensional, and now I feel like actually allowing my self-expression to come out and not be in that like nice girl image anymore, like breaking out of that old like way of seeing myself. Like I have to be the nice girl, I have to be perfect all the time, I have to like I felt so much pressure to be a certain way, and taking off that pressure of myself to like I can just be me and just speak from my heart and actually feel authentic and be authentic with people, and taking away like that need to people please and gauge myself by their reactions, like hold back big time. That's my old story. Super holding back because I didn't want to rock the boat or like offend anybody or like be too much. And I was about halfway through Soul to Soul, I was finally like, I think something you said about it's easy for people to take advantage of me because I am that nice girl, and that's like very much how I had pigeonholed myself and other people did. And like that really broke me through as far as to like, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, yeah, no more nice girl on tap.
No way. Your boundaries weren't there either. You see, this
Yeah.
is what's so relevant to many of you right now watching is if we don't have that deep reverence and value, sorry about the lines, I've got lines going on.
Oh.
If we don't have that true reverence and value for ourselves, not from here, oh, I'm worthy, I've got, no, from here, which is felt, people will walk over us. Guys will ghost you. You will attract emotionally unavailable men. You will be the one having to plan your own birthday, right? You get it? Because no one's there for you because you're not there for you. And that's what I noticed with you that shifted really fiercely shifted, not just like you taking baby steps, like you just, when you started to get just the smallest glimpse of like, oh, hang on a minute, I can grab my power, you then ran with it. And then strengthened it and strengthened it to the point where we're like, everyone's like, who is this freaking guy? Right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I do remember that turning point really distinctly. It was right after the little girl module. And I really, really reconnected with myself, my emotions at that point, and how much stifling I'd been doing. And then it was like a super fast transition into like, I love myself now. I like letting go of all the old shame had a huge part to do with it too. That helped me in that state of self-loathing.
There was a lot of shame.
Letting go of that. Yeah. It was like, I love myself now. I feel that love for myself, and like, I'm awesome.
Yeah, but what's great,
I really felt it.
That's what I want you girls to see is like, when women come to me on the phone, they're like, no, I'm really worthy and I'm a great catch and I'm awesome, but it's all words. And when you started to shift, this is why your soul sisters were so inspired by you, is because it wasn't something you were just saying and speaking. It was emanating from you, right? You look completely different. You're sitting in your soul now, and no one can take that away from you. And that shame was weighing you down like a ton of bricks. You were just carrying it from one year to the next. And as you said, you pigeonholed yourself in this lack and undeserving space. And it was, as I said, when you came to me, you were very apologetic.
Yeah, I was. And
not now.
Yeah, not now. Not anymore. No more of that.
What was for you the turning point where you started to really get who Marie really is?
Oh my gosh.
There might be a couple. Don't feel pressure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I feel like there was a couple. Really feeling into the authenticity of myself, letting go of that old nice girl image, and feeling the freedom to be authentic and to like actually be able to enumerate all the amazing things about myself, because before I had never acknowledged that about myself, that I was awesome, that I am all these great amazing things. And being able to really look at myself and feel all the wonder, the magic of myself, and it really helped me come home to who I was, helped me ground in my heart, and feeling like this is what it feels like to be me, and not have to please somebody else's image of me, and to be just completely unapologetic about it. And like, this is really me. And then also the imagining, reaching into what my future can be, and to really just stop living in the past, and to really open up my imaginings of the future, and creating and manifesting and receiving. And that was a whole new world for me.
Actually, as you were saying that, I just had this vision of like this Grecian goddess, but with this torch, with a little thing, just kind of like blazing her own new path. And that actually, you do look like a Grecian goddess, just quietly, or loudly. But you even just now, the energy you're sitting in, it's a completely different energy than when you came to me. You're just in that being energy. You're just sitting here. We're having a conversation. it's beautiful. You're not trying, you're not showing us anything. You're just sitting in Marie. And it's palpable, you know, I literally am sitting here going, I cannot believe that first call was only 8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Where you just could, you know, it was really hard for you to communicate.
It was. Yeah.
It's like, it's so inspiring, Marie. What do you feel is possible now? Like, how are you feeling about the future and about your soulmate and just life in general now that you're in this divine queen energy?
I feel so excited about life now. I feel ready to fly. I feel really powerful, and I feel magnetic and feminine, and just I feel like the universe is watching me now and is sending me all kinds of good things to me, and I'm just ready to receive it. And I am excited to imagine the future for myself, because I know it is done. I've created it, so it is done.
Yes.
There's no more living in like that lack and like that fear and scarcity.
Yeah.
And I imagine my soulmate and his energy, and I'm just calling him in now. I'm so excited to have him in my life very soon. I had imagined that I would meet him around, or that he would be in my life around Christmas, that he would manifest. But I'm ready now. I'm ready for him to come into my life now.
I mean,
being a magnet.
It's this power that you're speaking from right now. You know, you look at Marie Gold, she's a very beautiful girl, and naturally, you know, someone could say, oh, she's very feminine. But when she came to me, she was not activated in the feminine at all. It was the masculine, and the feminine was just non-existent, because the feminine is the trust, the self-love, the ability to receive. All of that was shut down. And that's the irony, because you are so feminine, right, to look at. But now you're in alignment with your true feminine power, because let's not underestimate that the feminine power is way more powerful than the masculine.
Yeah, it is. It's super powerful. Yeah, I've felt that shift over the last few weeks about resting in the feminine, and just receiving so much more externally from people than I ever had in the masculine. Like, I always felt like I was
share that with us,
seeking after.
Yeah, what are those?
Yeah, so in the masculine energy, I always felt like I was like running after, like reaching out, trying to like seek out and pull things in or people in. But resting in the feminine, I just feel like I feel so enough and just being, and I just feel people being attracted into me. Like my coworkers are treating me completely differently, much more deferentially. Actually, like, I feel like they actually see me now, like they're actually looking in my eyes, and I feel seen. And one of the biggest things was one of my bosses, who I've worked for 7 years, and we've barely exchanged more than a few words, like work related, every week. Like, he's just naturally kind of reclusive, but like, he never ever spoke to me. Just this past couple weeks, he's been just stopping by my office and like just starting work or unwork related conversations with me, like just like out of the blue. And it's just I was surprised but not surprised. Yeah.
This is such a fabulous celebration, because this is just symbolic. Thank you, confirmation of the time. This is symbolic that, you know, this is someone who hasn't spoken or connected with you in 7 years, suddenly is lurking around you. Now, we are all just energy. Legitimately, we are energy. And suddenly, when you start to see who you are and pour that love into yourself, right, and prioritize yourself, this person is a great example of someone that couldn't have been more further removed from you and seeing you, that's suddenly trying to get a piece. So he's like, you know, lurking around, because you're magnetic, and it's not a coincidence, right? 7 years is a pretty long time. Yeah. And this is even how, you know, I think you've got a couple of men in the that yourself, and you were
Yeah.
sharing with us how proud you were of just having it on your terms, not being available
Yes.
just when they want to see you, which is very new for you.
Yes. Very new for me. Yeah. Yeah. My old self would operate in that, like, I felt like I was always the one reaching out, setting up dates, or like the one connecting, the one trying to make it work.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I felt so powerless doing that. And it just all felt like it all depended on him, on the guy. And I was just like, I'm here. Like, yeah, but now I have had, I met a few guys during Soul to Soul, and I told them, like, reach out to me at the end of my 8 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just setting that boundary, and they did, surprisingly enough.
So just so you
Yeah.
girls know, so I don't let anyone date for 8 weeks, not because I'm a meanie, but because you're doing a whole reset of the soul and you're not in alignment anyway, and it's got to be about you, not about the guy. Because as I say to my women, you girls are the 5-layer, delicious, rich cake, and the man is just the cherry on top. So we've got to make sure we've got the right ingredients in that cake and we're not rushing through the layers. And so, of course, Marie, they're just like queuing up. Because when a woman has value, just like when a man values themselves, you want to see them. You'll wait. It's the same thing. When you value yourself, that's going to be mirrored back to you. So not a coincidence at all. Super excited for you. What would you say to, your divine soul sisters right now that are really wanting to take the plunge and do this, but have a lot of fear? What would you say to them right now?
I would say that it's okay to be scared, but that this honoring of yourself by taking this time for yourself to really get rid of that fear that's holding you back is the greatest gift you can ever give yourself. And I am so glad personally that I've done Soul to Soul, and I would recommend it to anybody who's ready. Absolutely. If you're ready to let go of that fear and really thrive and live and love yourself and be proud of yourself, I would just wholeheartedly dive right in.
I do like that you said if you're ready though, and because it isn't for everyone, as you know. In the vortex, there's a very particular caliber of women.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that in an exclusive way of I'm saying it in a purely in an attitude of the women that come in. It's like freaking really high caliber. Everyone's committed, right? Everyone's playing full time. Everyone's
the
showing
commitment.
up. Yeah, and that's why it's such a high vibration in there. It's not just free for all, not at all. It's an investment in yourself and your future, and that's why. In fact, you could speak into that. This is an investment for you. Was there anything that was going to stop you from doing Soul to Soul?
Yeah, a couple things. First off, the relationship that I was in, that was a big one for me, that I had to decide, like, I want to do this for myself. Yes. I need this time for myself. That was a huge one. And then secondly was, financially, because I one of the things that I was really holding on to with, as far as shame goes, was like, I was just not in a good place financially. And I was really scared of taking the plunge to spend the money, but then reframing that, like, it's a huge investment into myself that I have never done this for myself before, and I am so glad I did.
Well, because the thing, I know you mentioned to me, you're like, oh gosh, I'm racking up debt, and this is this is something I just want to speak into, because so many women that come to me come in with debt, and there's consumer debt where we go and buy things to try and fill the void, and then there's investments which pay dividends.
Yes.
And this is something that you can, well, I don't want to put the words in your mouth, but that you can safely say you gave to yourself as a gift. That's just going to be paying for itself over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. I like the way you said that. Yeah, because I had racked up a lot of consumer debt just buying like external things for myself. But as far as like investing in me, in my soul, that was like, never done that. Like it was about this beautiful internal gift that I was giving myself to shift my outlook on life, on myself, and love myself. And it was 1000% worth it. Absolutely.
And I'm really glad that came up. I had a gorgeous woman from San Fran who's joined just last night. And yeah, I know. That San Fran continues. I'm just like on fire right now. But
Yeah.
she was really cool. She said to me, well, hello, I've invested in going to friends' weddings around the world, baby showers. She's like, I put so much money into other things for other people. And I mean, I didn't even have to say anything. She goes, of course, it's time I bloody well invested in myself.
Yes, good for her.
Yeah, it was so powerful.
Yes.
I just sat there and she goes, it's a hell's yes. She's just like, I am done with putting all my energy and money into other things. And this is for me. She goes, it's starting now. And I was like,
how freaking awesome.
Because it's the truth. And that's what makes me sad when I see women that are so close to taking the plunge and they let their scarcity dominate. And instead of realizing that you're going to blow through that anyway. It's like we're going to put our foot down and put a stake in the ground and go, I am worth it. Yet people go off and buy a house or a car. It's like, where is your priority?
Yeah.
That's the truth. So I love this conversation. I think it's very needed. Yes, most people have debt. Honestly, I have women that come to me that are dead broke. So do you want to get out of that shitty paradigm? Great. Come and work on your self-worth. So I'm really glad that you shared that there were a couple of things that nearly stopped you, but the cool bit is you didn't let them.
Yeah.
Which Marie, I got to tell you, is a huge, huge celebration, because when we've been with ourselves for over 30 years and you're suddenly making a decision in the moment, that takes guts. It takes you listening to your heart.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I remember on that second call with you when I was just on the verge of signing up, and I was scared and I was holding back because of the monetary issues and of my fear of just like, that making the decision on the spot was like, I was waffling back and forth in my mind, like, but then, I was really attracted to you and Soul to Soul, and the thought of like, I'm also like done, recognizing that I was done living the way that I had been living, like really realizing that like I have been so unhappy, like really letting myself acknowledge that. And yes, I am ready to change. I'm ready to change that. And I'm ready to jump into Soul to Soul.
That is,
do that for myself.
It's so key though. And it just goes back to what I said earlier, like you have to be ready. And I don't mean like there's not going to be fear, because there is, right? Yeah. It's weird for people to join Soul to Soul without having fear. Why? Because you're leaping out of, off the edge of a cliff, into, out of your comfort zone into a whole new space. So it's about using the fear and being like, wow, this is a whole new world and opportunity. And I always say, I have fear coming up when people say, oh, just be fearless. It's crap. I have fear coming up when I take big leaps, but it's a good fear. It's like, oh, fear of the unknown, fear of what's possible, but it's excitement as well. And that's the combo, right? If someone's not excited, I'm like, let's not do this. let's just not, because fear is going to be there. But unfortunately, too many women are letting the fear govern that decision, because it's like, oh no, I've got fear. It's like, yeah, and you've had fear for the last 30 years. You have fear about love. You have fear about relationships. You have fear about being who you are. We're here to solve that. So it's about that beautiful fear and excitement. They're the ingredients.
Yeah.
I just think it's important to talk about, because it's not all unicorns and jazz hands in here. And when we're going to change someone's life, like when you came here to change your life, it's no joke. Those 8 weeks are no joke.
Yeah, no joke at all. Yeah.
What would you say to someone before we jump off, if you had to really sum up the experience, because it's not a walk in the park?
It was like going through a blizzard, like initially, like just going through this like deep, dark, snowy blizzard, and then bursting out into like beautiful sunshine on the other side. Was like, when I look back, you're digging through all the old coping mechanisms, all the guards initially, getting rid of all the old things holding you back, your old story, letting that go, and just diving really deep into yourself and
Mm.
being yourself, and then coming out on the other side, really fueling your love and belief in yourself. And life is beautiful, and it's because you've embraced your own magic and power. And that was truly my experience, just
Beautiful.
coming out of the darkness and
Beautiful.
the fear and the lack, and coming into this magical, bright, light filled feeling so joyful, so radiant, and actually powerful.
Yeah. How would you
Like I
describe
can
Marie?
create life.
How would you describe Marie right now if you had to describe her to someone?
Oh man.
Take up space. Take up wagon, baby.
I am vibrant and radiant. I am a master receiver. I am beautifully feminine. I am magnetic. I'm alluring. I speak up. I'm bold. I'm not afraid. I love myself. I believe in myself and my power. I speak my truth. I embrace my bigness. I don't hold back. I ask for what I want and I receive it.
Fuck yes. Awesome. Oh, look at, but see, what I love is like some people in the past would struggle to do two of those, and you could just go on and on and on. I love it. I love it. Well, Marie, thank you so much for coming in and just sharing your experience with us. I am so proud of you, so inspired by you, just seeing this woman just stepping into that, 5-dimensional version of yourself. There's no way I could accuse you of being one-dimensional. There's no way. I'm looking at a woman now, and who came to me was a scared little girl who just needed support. You just needed support, like we all do. And you got that. In fact, I'll just share on your behalf. I'm pretty sure they were your words saying you'd never felt this supported in your life before.
Yes. Never felt so supported in my life. Yeah.
Just in one of your final lives. I was like, I'm pretty sure that was you.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Really, really, really glad you felt that way. And and if anyone wants to reach out to you, is that okay?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I'd be very happy to speak with anyone.
Awesome. Well, I'll be watching this space. This is not goodbye.
No, not goodbye.
Not at all. This is just the beginning, but so proud of you, Marie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you.
Bye, darling. Bye.
Goodbye. Love you.